Hey everybody, welcome. It's week 4 of Tip of the Spear. I'm your host, John. I'm here with my two boys, Grayson and Cole, and boy, we have a lot to talk about this week. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Cole?
Doing just fine this evening.
This evening, yeah.
Yeah.
Evening, whichever.
Whatever. Don't matter.
What a week, right? What a week. Super Bowl weekend. We finally get to talk about your boy Drake May. So, what did you think? How did Drake May do? You still picking him to be the top pick?
Yeah, I want to hear what Cole has to say about that. And no backtracking this time.
No, it's all good. We all knew this day was coming. We all knew this was coming ever since a week ago when we saw Drake May look like one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in the NFL. That being said, okay, the whole entire time, I always said Jane Daniels I would prefer over Drake May, but I was saying if you're looking at the season stats and all that kind of stuff and health and all that, you'd put Drake May over Jane Daniels. Now that the season's over and we're going to go into year 3, I'm going to stick with my boy Jane Daniels. I think he's going to have a massive comeback year. I love him. I think he's going to be healthy this year. We're going to rebuild and give him some weapons to work with, and we're going to be just fine. Now, talk about the Super Bowl, because you guys specifically asked me about that. I watched Drake May do virtually nothing to help his team in the first 3 quarters of the football game. Yeah, he put up some stats when it didn't matter in the fourth quarter, when the game was already pretty much over. But yeah, no, he looked absolutely abysmal. In fact, the entire playoffs, he didn't look good. He turned the ball over, I think, at like almost a 3-1 clip from how many touchdowns he scored. Maybe it was a 2-1 clip, but either way. He just was not productive at all, and I think that's a byproduct of the regular season teams that he played, having the softest schedule in the league, and I think it caught up with him. Kind of like it caught up with us last year. We ended up playing the Eagles, who were a powerhouse, and we got blitzed in the playoffs. I think like the team ran into its limit, and it shouldn't have gone as far as it was. It got benefited by having C.J. Stroud be also the worst quarterback ever. I mean, Drake May had 4 turnovers, 5 fumbles in that game, and they still won the football game because they had C.J. Stroud on the other side of the field. And then in the championship round,
Cole, you need to take a breath. Grayson wants to say something.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Grayson,
give me a sec.
Come on, take a breath.
And then in the
only got an hour.
I know. And then in the championship round, then he has to go against Jarrett Stidham. Of all, name all the great quarterbacks. I'm sure Jarrett Stidham's on everybody's Mount Rushmore there. So he went through just an absolute cupcake playoffs, got to the Super Bowl, and we were talking about it last week when we were making our predictions. We all had Seattle. I thought Seattle was going to win. I thought their defense was going to be too much for Drake May, and it turns out we were all kind of right. So
Okay.
that's my piece.
Deep cleansing breath.
It may have been that I'm a biased Redskins fan, because I am obviously a biased Jaden Daniels fan, Redskins fan, all of that. But, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry. Watching that Super Bowl, and I just kept playing in the back of my head, I'm taking Drake May. I'm taking Drake May. I'm taking Drake May. Every single time he threw a bad pass. Now, granted, yeah, he got to 230 yards for my bet. Thank God, right? But Stephon Diggs, surely he caught the ball 4 times, right? No.
Nope.
Stephon Diggs, absolutely terrible, okay? Now, going back a little bit, like Drake May, he faced some pretty good defenses, okay? Texans defense, very good. Denver's defense, pretty good. Seattle's defense, obviously dominant in the Super Bowl. But I'll tell you, Drake May had a 51 QBR in the playoffs.
Isn't that worst all time?
Jaden Daniels had an 84 QBR in the playoffs against the number 1 seed, against the Eagles, all that stuff. So, hey, you can sit back and take Drake May. That's completely fine. But I'm sorry. I did think Drake May was very good, too. And he is still going to be a good quarterback. I'm not going to discount him. But it looked awful.
Sorry. Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels is a more accurate passer. And the thing about that Super Bowl, I don't think New England was going to win. But Jaden Daniels would have made it a hell of a lot more competitive. There were so many opportunities I felt like where Drake May could have run, and he's a good runner, but I don't think he sees the field like Jaden Daniels does. So I'm taking Jaden.
And
we'll see what happens next year.
Drake May also has I mean, we saw too like strides of the defense for New England. They looked amazing. They looked so good. Now imagine we had that defense, and I'm just looking back because we have like follow-up questions about the draft or something along those lines. But I knew this from the beginning. Christian Gonzalez looked like a dog during that game.
Oh yeah.
Don't remind me. Don't
Yeah,
remind
he
me. Don't
was
remind
a
me.
dog. But surely we didn't draft Manuel Forbes above him, right?
Of course we did.
Yeah, but the counter argument I've always seen on Twitter with that is like if we drafted Gonzalez and our defense wasn't like as bad as it was, I mean we don't end up with Jaden Daniels. But that's a butterfly effect thing, right? You still wish you had Christian Gonzalez and assumed everything plays out the way it does. But it's funny because when we're going back to the Drake May conversation, when you were saying when you were watching the game, watching Drake May stink. The entire time I was down at the lake with the boys, and I was sitting there watching the game too. Every single time Drake May made a mistake, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is going to come back. This is going to come back to bite me in the ass when we talk about this next week."
There may or may not be a video of you saying you taking Drake May and then Drake May.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
There might be.
I can't wait for the day where one of you guys gets clipped for the Instagram. That's all right. You can use me for clicks. It's whatever. It's okay.
You can use my clip. I think I did say that Kenneth Walker was going to win MVP in the last episode, and
he did.
I think he did end up winning MVP.
That's all right. I had him scoring a touchdown, and I had Drake May with a pick. So,
what do you guys think though? Is Drake May bounce back from this, or is this a brain ruiner where he just all of a sudden? All he thinks about is losing the big game. Is he going to be able to bounce back from this? Because there was some talk about, well, will he be able to come back from this and perform the same way he did this year? Is it going to cause something, cause him to lose his edge?
I'm a believer in
kind of like what happened to Dan Marino.
Yeah, I think all things happen for a reason, and I think it would have just been too. And I mean, yes, obviously, I would have loved to have won the Super Bowl last year. Obviously, any fan wants to win the Super Bowl. But kind of like what we were talking about, Jaden kind of needed that loss a little bit to strive for more, and I think Drake May needs the same thing. I mean, I don't really enjoy – I mean, I love to see people win the Super Bowl, especially young kids win the Super Bowl. But I think these young kids need a little bit of humble pie in their career. I don't think they can just go out there and think it's they're just going to win the Super Bowl in their first season, in their first rookie season. Which this is his second season, but still, I mean, I think he needed that loss, in my opinion.
I think he's gonna go through kind of what Jaden Daniels did this year. We'll see if he can get through it. Jaden struggled. They're gonna figure him out. He's gonna play a much tougher schedule. I don't know. We'll see if he can keep it together. But I'm not 100% sold on Drake May. Like Cole was. It sounds like he was. He's not so much anymore. But and again, I like the quarterback. I mean, he went to UNC, one of my favorite schools, so can't be too down on him. And I would have listen, if Jaden Daniels wasn't available, I would gladly have taken him. So one thing that's coming out of this, obviously the Super Bowl, are some of their free agents, and I thought the Seattle defense was super impressive. I mean, they dominated that game. And it just pains me to know we could have had that coach as our coach. But, of course, I'm not going to slam him and use my name for him, but we've stuck with Dandy Dan. And but I noticed on Seattle there were a couple players that piqued my interest, one of them being Tyreek Woolen. Tyreek Woolen, their cornerback, 27. He was a machine. I mean, he rocked that game. I thought he was super, super impressive. And then there's also, I don't know, what do you guys think about him? But there's also Kobe Bryant, the safety. We need a safety.
Of the Rams? The Rams?
Kobe Bryant of the Seahawks. Yeah. And then also on the Seahawks was the receiver, Raheed Shaheed, or is that how you pronounce his name? Yeah. I mean, he's available. And their running back, Kenneth Walker, who obviously was the MVP of the Super Bowl. Any of those guys stand out to you as a possible free agent acquisition for the Commanders or Redskins?
The two that I can see us picking up is, what's his name? You guys just said it, and I can't think.
Tyreek Woolen.
Tyreek Woolen, the corner, right?
Yep.
And then the safety, just because those are the two big positions of need. And obviously, any safety or any corner is going to be a pretty decent step up from what we had on the field last year. And that's not to discount Mikey Still or Trey Amos, because I think they both definitely showed flashes. I know Amos dealt with some injuries throughout the year, and Mikey was put in a new position. So I think if we're going to add a corner, because I know we're probably not going to go corner at 7 in the draft, we'd probably do it through free agency, obviously. I'd like a guy like Woolen on the corner. I do think, though, with the safety position, it'll be really interesting to see what we do at 7. Or if we try to make a move before the draft and then kind of draft based on that move. Because what I mean by that is, like, you know, you got Caleb Downs in the draft. A lot of mocks are having him at 7 or around 7, give or take a pick or two here or there. So it's like you could pick up a guy like the safety from Seattle and fill that spot and then give yourself an opportunity to go a different direction at number 7 in the draft. Or you can maybe take one of those free agent defensive ends that are available and then draft Caleb Downs and fill 2 positions on defense that way. I mean, they have options to go for. I'd like us to make a couple moves on defense and free agency because we're not going to be able to fill every spot in the draft. But yeah, for corner, I wouldn't hate Woolen at all. So.
What do you think, Grayson?
I mean, I've heard Tyreek Woolen's name a lot. I mean, obviously, just watching the Super Bowl, hearing his name, and
multiple times.
I will say, I used to hear his name a lot more when he was a rookie or his second year. I wouldn't say he's on a downtrend. I still think.
No, they said this was his best year statistically this year. Yeah, and what I love about him is he plays like the old Marshawn Lattimore used to play.
Yeah.
You know, he's in your face. I mean, he's like, you know, him. I think he was on. Diggs. What was the receiver for the
Diggs.
Patriots? Diggs. The whole game. I don't think he got one catch. Maybe one.
He got 3. He got 3
Did he?
catches. Yeah,
3, and he needed 4, right? Yeah, the bet was 4.
I took the alt line. It was at 5, and I took it at 4, and he still didn't get 4. But
Stephon Diggs. Well, he talked a lot.
yeah, he did.
So,
I like Tyreek Woolen. Like, I haven't really followed him too much. I remember when he got drafted, he was playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
And another guy, God, I wish he was a free agent. Devin Witherspoon. I mean, I don't know if you guys, the safety for Seattle, what a beast. I think he had like 2 sacks or something. He was a beast during the Super Bowl. And
they grow safeties out there.
He was a game changer. Now,
remember Cam Chancellor, Tech guy?
Yeah.
Remember him?
Big time Legion of Boom.
Seattle
right there.
guy? Oh, my
I actually
God,
won
man.
one of those jerseys. But, yeah, I mean,
was a
Tyreek
beast.
Woolen, if he wants to come here, I would for sure take him.
No takers on the MVP running back?
I mean, that's a difficult situation
Or
because
we just go for Breece Hall, or because I think we're doing something at running back. We're going to pick up somebody. I don't think they're completely 100% sold on Bill as an every down back, you know. But somebody like Breece Hall would be a great addition. I actually like the way Walker runs. The way he runs a lot like Le'Veon Bell, right? He like almost walks up to the line of scrimmage, looks for the hole, and then cuts through the hole. So he totally reminds me of Le'Veon Bell when I watch him run.
Yeah, go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, I like Kenneth Walker a lot. But the way I see Kenneth Walker is I think there's 5 to 7 other running backs in the league that kind of do the same style of running and can do get the same kind of production as Kenneth Walker. And if I were going to pick up a free agent, that's not a big bomb,
That's
dude.
okay.
Kenneth Walker's a good running back, but like there's
you
better
go
running backs out there. I would also go after Breece Hall strictly for the fact that I mean I've been a big fan of him since he came into the league. I think
Is he younger? Is Breece Hall younger?
I think they're actually
so.
about the same age. I think, give or take a year. I think Breece Hall has just been in a bad situation on the Jets, and I think our offensive line this past season wasn't awful. Like, obviously it needed some work, but it wasn't one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen. And then I'm sure we'll probably get another piece here or there for the offensive line to kind of build around a little bit more. And I think a guy like Breece Hall working with Jane Daniels would be fantastic. And the reason I prefer Breece Hall over Kenneth Walker, in all honesty, is I just don't think Kenneth Walker can really. He doesn't have hands like that, you know. Like, he's not a big pass catcher.
Yeah,
whereas,
can't catch. That's true.
whereas Breece Hall can. He's more of a pass catcher. He doesn't. Obviously, it's not the
Yeah,
biggest
that's a
part of
good
his
point.
game. He's more of his runner, but I like a guy that's more versatile and can do more things. And that's kind of what I mean by there's plenty of other guys that can do what Kenneth Walker is because he's just primarily a runner. And I think that's also kind of what Bill is. So you kind of bring in the same style of running back. I know Bill's a little bit faster and Kenneth Walker takes a little bit more time, so they don't necessarily have the same style of running. But Bill's not necessarily a pass catcher either. So if I'm going to get another running back, since we're losing Eckler, who's a big pass catcher, I'd like to go for somebody that can catch passes.
Old school Redskins fans would know we always typically had that. We had a big, beefy back. Sometimes it was John Riggins. Then you might have Joe Washington or somebody behind him that was kind of like a third down back that you'd use to pass the ball to. So I think that'd actually be kind of like a thunder and lightning type thing, you know, like you hear sometimes in the past. I forget what team had that, but it was thunder and lightning. But
one thing I kind of want to ask you guys about. So hypothetically, I think maybe I talked about this before. I'm not sure. Hypothetically, okay, Caleb Downs gets taken before us, and Jeremiah Love is there. Would you guys hate to take Jeremiah Love there, the guy from Notre Dame, Dad?
the running back, we're not going
Yeah.
to take a running back in the first round.
Yeah,
There's
but
no way.
dude, he's explosive, man.
There's
He's
no
a
way.
game changer.
We'll see what Genty does this year. I'm not sold on him either. I know everybody's Genty, and I just think that's too high a pick. I mean, I don't know. I like the guy. I've seen him. I just don't think you get running backs in the first round. I just don't think you. I mean,
He's the best offensive player in the
look at the teams that win the Super Bowls. The teams that have won the last few Super Bowls. Did they draft a number one running back? And I'm asking that seriously. You may know of one. I can't think of. I mean, the last number one running back, isn't that Genty? Wasn't he the last number one running back taken in the first round?
He was the first running back taken last year, if that's what you
But
mean.
were there other running backs taken in the first round, or was he the only one, right? Or was the guy from North Carolina?
I think there was a couple. I think Hampton went in the first round, and I think there was one other that also went in the first round.
I don't know how that pans out, to be honest with you.
For me,
The wide receiver intrigues me more.
I think
The Ohio State wide receiver intrigues me more than a running back, to be honest with you, because him with Terry, and hopefully if we bring Debo back, or we don't, but if we have him with Terry, and then we have McCaffrey, and I don't know, maybe we bring back the guy we let go to Carolina last year, UNC kid. Well, I can't think of his name. I should know it. De'Ami Brown. But yeah, that Ohio State wide receiver looks like he's a sure. Yeah, he looks like he's a sure thing too. It's gonna be hard to pass up that guy, honestly. But I think we're gonna. I'm kind of a believer. I think that we're probably gonna draft a defensive end. I don't know if it's gonna be in the first round. Maybe we trade back, to get more picks. But we're definitely getting, what is that guy, Phillips from Philadelphia, or we're getting Trey Henderson. If we don't go first round, defensive end, we're picking up one of those guys for sure. I think
taking Jeremiah Love at 7 is a franchise crippling decision. In fact, I think it's actually the worst possible move we can make at 7 there. Running back is not necessarily a position of dire need for this team. There's so many good players on defense sitting right there. You just take your pick, and you can fill a massive hole on our defense right then and there. Like Bill, yeah, maybe he's not an every down back, right? But we can do what we did this past season and use Chris Rodriguez.
Bill
and
could become one.
Jeremy, he could. He was still a rookie. But we used 3 running backs. We used Bill, Rodriguez, and McNichols. Yeah, we used 3 guys. 2 of them are not household names, and Bill's a household name just because we all love him. But the other 2 guys weren't household names. We got production, and actually a decent production out of our running back room for the entire year. We had a decent running team.
Didn't we have we were in the top 10 in the league or something?
Yeah, I think we were somewhere around the top. We were definitely top 50% in the rush. So that's
Even
why
we didn't run hardly at all. I don't know how that works. Yards per carry, maybe. I don't know.
I guess, but either way, I just think taking Jeremiah Love at 7 is a complete disservice to the franchise. It's like you're drafting a position that, he might be the next big running back. Sure, he could be the next big thing. There's always that opportunity, but at the same time, we need defensive production first and foremost. Like, running back is not, for me, a position that we desperately need. You can, again, get Breece Hall in free agency. We have $125 million in cap. There's plenty of options to go get guys. So just go get a running back in free agency. Pay a little bit less for him than what you'd probably pay, or probably pay a little bit more than a rookie running back. But like, fill a position of dire need. Fill that defensive line. Fill a linebacker spot. Fill the safety. Fill any spot on that defense first. Like I would be honestly mad if we went offense at all in the first spot. Like I'd be happier with Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson or somebody in that spot than I would a running back, just because I think our wide receiver room needs a little bit more help than our running room. But I just think we have to go defense in that 7 spot, and if we don't, then we better pick up some absolutely crazy free agents, because I'd lose a lot of faith in Adam Peters if we didn't make a whole bunch of additions. Although I've seen a report recently that they say they want to make a bunch of splash signings this offseason, so we'll see. But I'm skeptical.
It'll just be interesting to see how different the offense is with David Blau. And like the only reason I asked that question about Jeremiah Love is because we've kind of taken over the air raid sort of thing with Cliff Kingsbury, right? And we haven't really had like a dominant running back in years, ever since I think Alfred Morris. And what was that, like 2012 or something like that? And his rookie season was unbelievable. But I mean, I don't think you guys can name like a dominant running back that we've had, even when Adrian Peterson was here for that 1 year.
Clinton Portis was the last one I can think of.
And that was before Alfred Morris.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we haven't had – and I'm just saying all hypothetical. Do I want to take an offensive player at 7? Obviously not. But I'm just saying it'll just be interesting to see. Say for – hypothetically, again, say
I think if
David Bailey goes. Say Caleb Down goes. Say Reuben Bain somehow goes, right? What do we do? I mean, we could – I guess they're all smarter than us. They all have a plan. But I just hope the plan works out, and it'll just be interesting to see.
Yeah. So what's interesting is you mentioned David Blau, and one thing to think about as well is he said earlier this week or something, it was like, what's your game plan? And he just pretty much said, how do we figure out how to target Terry McLaurin 10 times a game or get Terry the ball 10 times a game? One thing to think about with that is one way to do that is getting another big-time wide receiver so the defense has somebody else to focus on, so Terry ends up on one-on-one. So that could lead me to see if we're at that 7 spot, and Grayson, like your hypothetical goes, all those defensive guys that we want go off the board early. I can see us taking a wide receiver there to kind of fill David Blau's need way before I can see him taking a running back in that position.
Let me ask you a question then as well, just kind of like for my sake as well. What gets wide receivers open more often, though? Yeah, a wide receiver 2, that's really good, correct. But when you run the ball dominantly, the defensive scheme changes completely. You're trying to protect the run. If you have a dominant running back that you know they're going to use, right? Wide receivers are still going to be covered, correct. I'm not saying they're not going to be wide open. But if you have a dominant run game, you can pass the ball more efficiently, too. And I think the game speaks to that. I think we could probably look at stats. I mean, I think that's true, and
I think you're right, Grayson.
And this is all hypothetical. I pray we take a defensive player.
I think we're going to take. I kind of agree with what Cole said earlier. Is that I think we're planning on making a splash this year. I think last year we thought we were closer than we really were, so we just were tweaking. We figured we just needed to tweak. And I think the reality set in that we're a lot further away than what we thought we were last year. So I think there's going to be kind of a splash this year. Cole brought up David Blau. They also introduced Durante Jones. And press conference was great. I thought he was, but I also thought Joe Witt's press conference was great. So, and we saw where, Joe Witt ended up, on a one-way ticket out of town looking for a job, his next job. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I welcome him with open arms, and he sounds like he's going to be really aggressive and blitz a lot and use a lot of the schemes they used in Minnesota. So looking forward to that. But the interesting part of the press conference, what I thought was interesting, he was naming the players. They were asking about specific players. And the players he chose to mention and bring out and talk about how good they were or how great he can't wait to coach was Will Harris, which is, to me, shocking. Okay, Will Harris. Second player was Quan Martin. and the third guy was Luvu. And those were the three players that he chose to pick out on our defense. No mention of Bobby Wagner and no mention of Deron Payne, which I thought was really interesting. Bobby Wagner I can understand because we're probably not going to re-sign him. But Deron Payne still got a deal. You know, we still have him for a year. Maybe we're going to re-sign him. But I just thought it was interesting. The defensive coordinator left off of those two guys and picked out guys like Quan Martin that got beat every single time I saw. I mean, he got beat a lot. And then there was also, Will Harris. I mean, how old is Will Harris? 36? Honestly, I don't even know how old he is. But what do you guys think about that? Is there some hidden message in all of this that they're not coming back?
I'm very surprised about the Quan Martin thing, but like coverage wise, I don't think he's the greatest. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I've watched every single game. He is without a doubt the hardest hitter on our team, defensive back wise. I mean, dude,
when he's there,
I would hate to get hit by him. Now, I hope he protects himself correctly when he's doing this hitting. But I mean, the crack that he makes, like hitting somebody, is amazing. I love that. I think he plays with super aggressive. I love. I mean, Will Harris, I don't know how old he is. I don't really. Is he a defensive back? I don't even.
None of us know.
I don't know who that is. Is it bad?
Will Harris?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy from the Patriots we brought over? Wasn't he? He was a safety. I think he was a safety.
I think we got him from the Saints, and he came over. And
right.
he got hurt like in the third or fourth week of the season.
He was like a safety.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I blanked because he was barely on the field.
Yeah.
Most of our starting defense was off the field after like the fourth game.
Yeah, I think one of the guys that he brought up as well, I can't remember if he actually said this guy. I think it was Jordan McGee was one of the names that he named as well. And his listening guys that he really liked. That's kind of exciting for me. I've been a big Jordan McGee guy. I thought he should have been getting a lot more reps over Bobby Wagner. Shoot me, I know. But I just never thought we were really getting what we could out of Jordan McGee. I think I think Durante Jones is going to get a lot out of him, give him a lot bigger of a workload. I'm excited to see what he does with him. Although I wouldn't take necessarily the guys he's excited to work with too seriously. Like, I wouldn't put too much weight into it. I think majority of the guys he listed were defensive backs, he's a defensive backs coach, so it kind of makes sense. I can't remember. I don't think he listed anybody on our defensive line, so I don't think he listed anybody there. So
I don't think so. Well,
I'm sure.
Maybe that explains it, because he is a defensive backs coach first and foremost.
Yeah, so it could be like he's excited to kind of teach them his expertise and that kind of thing. Maybe he's not a defensive line expert by any means, and he'll leave that up to the defensive line coach. But I don't think there's any like sort of hidden undertones to that statement, because when he said that, he just got here. I don't think he knows exactly the inner workings of the GM and what he's got going on and all that kind of stuff right now. It was like a second day on campus. Yeah, Bobby Wagner, who's 36 years old and probably still ring hunting. Let him go to a team that might have a chance to win it next year. We might have a chance.
Stay here and coach.
He's not going to stay here and coach. He's getting an NBA. He's going to be a big business person someday, dude. He's one of the smartest dudes in the NBA. He's not NFL. He's not going to sit around and coach it when he's done. Dude.
And by the way, congratulations to him for being elected the Walter Payton Man of the Year. I mean, that's impressive. Before we pivot, I did want to pass on my condolences to Barry Wilburn. You guys didn't know him, but he was a safety that played for the Redskins. He unfortunately passed away this week in evidently a house fire. His house burned down and he perished, which is awful. And then yesterday we lost, it's Trey Johnson, number 77, who was our offensive guard slash tackle for years. He was the first guy that had the Predator dreads, out from under his helmet. I always thought he looked like such a badass, and he was a mean guy. And evidently he was at his son's lacrosse game at Hampton University and passed away. So don't want to leave those guys out, since this is a Redskins Commanders podcast, that we pass along prayers to their families. I did want to dip my toe into something I know nothing about, but I know these boys are following, is women's Olympic hockey. I don't know. anything about women's hockey. Cole could spend an hour just talking about women's hockey on this podcast, but I figured I'd turn it over to these
That's
two
a lie.
because they're two of their biggest fans, it sounds like. But evidently, this is something that's like epic that's going on with women's hockey, and I'll let you guys explain what's going on, Grayson.
I'll take the lead.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I couldn't name a single person on the women's hockey team, and that's kind of embarrassing to admit because I've watched like 3 games now. So I apologize. None of them are going to be listening to this, but just in case somebody that does know them or something, like, I'm sorry, I don't know their names. I'm not good with names. That being said, people all over the internet, and I'm starting to believe this too, are saying this is the best women's hockey team ever put together, just hands down. I mean, as of tonight, which is 2/16/26, they just beat some team today. I think it was Sweden or something today, 5-0, and increased their total goal differential for the entire tournament to 31-1. And like that's stupid. It's just like, you think of all like the great dominant teams of all time, and like 31-1. You're talking. It's like going to a football game. You outscore, or like over a 5-game stretch, you outscore your opponents like 200-13. It's pretty much like the same. Like it's stupid. It's like they've given up 1 goal. It was in like the second period of the first game, and ever since it's been lights out. They have not let in a single goal. Their defense is phenomenal. They're scoring goals all over the place. They blew out Team Canada by 5 goals. Team Canada. Those dudes up above us that suck. We blew them out by 5. It's outrageous. Like, you watch them. I think they play in the gold medal match on Thursday. I'll be watching. I'll try to pick up 1 or 2 of their names while I'm watching the game. But they're absolutely phenomenal. It's like, and that's not taken away from the men's team either. The men's team was also fantastic. We beat the brakes off of every team we've played in this tournament as well. That being said, I am a little bit scared of those Canadians when we end up having to play them because, they got 4 of the top 5 scorers in the NHL over there, and they've been, I mean, they single-handed, like, they destroyed France. It was like 10-1. France suspended one of their players for getting angry after the game, and then
The Frogs.
getting in a fight with Tom Wilson. But, like, you beat a team, like a legitimate country, 10-1 in an Olympic hockey match, and I think the most we've beat a team by so far is 4 on the men's side, so it's like, it makes me a little nervous. Again, it's hockey. Anything can happen. We see the miracle on ice 1,000 times. But, I think the women's team, I think they play Canada again in the championship. I don't think Canada stands a chance. I think I might see another 5-0 game.
Played in a little bit less padding.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
More like women. They look like, too much like men, Put them in those sleek speed skater outfits, let them go down and, take their stick.
I think they need to fight. It'd be sick to see them fighting, just like men's hockey.
Put them in the Olympic speed skating outfits, and I'll definitely tune in.
One thing I will say, maybe they'll have a movie after this. Never know.
The Miracle on Ice 2.
Women's Miracle.
I don't know. It is impressive.
I'm not like I haven't really tuned in. I have seen on Instagram and everything about like the scoring differential. I saw there was like 31-1, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, I hope they win it all. I hope they represent the U.S. in the correct way, which it sounds like they are. I was watching the Olympics 2 days ago. I think figure skating was on. I mean, I know this is kind of a little bit off topic, whatever, right? Both on skates, so whatever.
That's the Olympics.
I got locked in on figure skating a little bit. I'm like, some of the moves they're doing out there is.
You could be a figure skater, Grayson.
What is that?
You gotta have that. You kind of have that look.
What the hell does that mean? You know what? Fine, because there's some badasses out there.
They are. I mean,
That dude was doing a backflip. That dude was doing a backflip on ice.
Yeah,
He
that
got
guy was
viral.
incredible. Except he choked, right? Didn't the guy
Yeah.
the guy who's supposed to win the gold medal? Didn't he like fall once or something like that? But
fell
he did do
twice.
that flip. That flip is impressive, and I thought at one point they banned that, so it was cool to see him do that.
It was banned. It's been banned for 50 years, I think it was, which is
Couldn't have been 50, really.
I think
Scott
it was.
Hamilton.
I don't
I think it was from like the 80s Olympics the last time it was done.
Yeah,
which was,
Scott Hamilton was the one. I think.
Yeah, about 45, 50 years ago.
Wow.
Not sure,
But-
I mean, I sat down and I've never really watched like figure skating before, and I kind of got distracted on my TV while I was making dinner, and I sat down and watched it. It was the women's figure skating, and I mean, it was just insane.
I think Grayson just threw out his Drake May moment
What?
on national podcast. That he
Listen,
is a figure skating
I don't-
enthusiast.
I mean, figure skating. It's not.
Cole's talking women's hockey. Grayson's talking men's figure skating. No, okay.
Very off topic, but it's just like amazing.
There's no like men's downhill. There's no men's
Well,
hockey.
I would have watched
Ski jumping.
I would have watched women's downhill if Lindsey Vonn didn't hurt herself again.
Yeah, y'all got to be put onto skeleton and luge and bobsled, dude. I love those sports. Love those sports, dude. I spent the entire weekend watching luge, skeleton, and there's bobsledding today that I watched. USA took a gold in bobsled, or like a single woman's
Oh,
bobsled. Yeah, it was
Single
fantastic.
I didn't even know they had single women.
I didn't know they had
bobsledding.
single bobsledding either, but they do, and it was in this Olympics, and we took home gold. So shout out to whoever that woman was. Good for her. I think it was her first gold. But either way, Olympics is, or not the Olympics, the luge and all that kind of stuff, like those ice sliding sports, they're electric, dude. You're like watching a mini F1 race every single time somebody goes down the track.
That's
and
kind
it's
of like curling is to me, a mini F1 race.
Dude, curling.
sure.
Curling's
It is kind of it's like fancy darts, dude. Is what curling is, dude. It's exciting. That's one good thing about the Olympics, though, dude. Like like I'm trying to like lock in. It's tough with Dad doing what he's doing. But the Olympics is like it's exciting. You watch sports that you would never watch the other 4 years. Like catch me tuning into like luge anytime that isn't the Olympics. If it was on TV, I probably would, but it ain't. Same thing with curling. You'll never see that. I see darts more often on TV than I do curling. Like it's exciting to be able to watch it every 4 years, and you just got to sit there and enjoy it a little bit, you know.
I saw one of the videos on Instagram of this dude. I think he was U.S. I think it was the U.S. and they're curling, and he got like a perfect like pool, almost like in pool. He
Yeah.
goes, knocks almost. I mean, it is the equivalent basically to ice bocce ball. I mean, it's basically the
Yeah.
same thing. But he hits and knocks the opponent's stones. That's what they're called. Knocks the opponent's stones, all three of them out, and keeps theirs on like the center of the
Yeah,
circle.
I mean,
which
it actually is
amazing.
impressive. I'm joking about it, but it is impressive to watch. I mean, there's some serious skill in there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then
That's
it's
too
funny.
funny.
I think we need a video of you going like this.
Well, that's all they do.
Yeah, post that to the Instagram.
That's all they do. That's all they do is sweep, 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 sweep. But evidently, there were people that were like yelling at each other this one because they thought they were cheating and they stepped on something or did something. Yeah, so it was like going to get physical. With
Yeah, I saw that.
the
Some
curling
Canadian
thing.
was cussing out the Swedes for whatever reason. I guess he did like a little like finger poke.
I think he touched
on-
his
on
balls
the
or
thing.
something. He touched his
Yeah, something
ball.
along the sorts. But
or whatever they call those things.
Stones.
Ball,
stones,
stone.
yeah.
Stone. Touched his
But
stones.
but yeah, from what I understand, because I looked into it a little bit, just because I don't know the first thing about curling at all, on the fact that like Grayson was saying, it's ice bocce ball with like a dartboard there. Like you kind of put two and two together to kind of figure out kind of what the premise is, but I didn't know the rules, so I did a little bit of research. Apparently, the Canadian dude wasn't cheating, and apparently it was a legal move. But I don't know the first thing. People are unhappy regardless, and then he also caused a scene, which isn't a good look for Team Canada or that dude. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he was a loser regardless, even if they won and he wasn't cheating. That being said, like,
The real
I
loser?
don't
Right.
think he was. I don't think what he did was cheating based on like looking up like the rules and stuff. I guess you're allowed to touch it as long as it's behind the green line, and it was behind the green line when he touched it or something. That's what I understand. But that was that whole
cheating.
thing.
Talking about cheating, Cole. How about the poor guy who won the Olympic gold medal and then professed how sorry he was for cheating on his girlfriend?
Oh no, the bronze medal guy wasn't
On
even gold.
National TV.
Yo, you didn't see that, Grayson? Dog, yeah. So some dude.
He
won-
instantly regretted. The next day, he was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I did that." But that'll be on the news. That'll be on TV forever.
Yeah, he won like a bronze medal in some event. I didn't watch the event. I don't know what event it was, but he won bronze in this event, and then pretty much like came out to the entire international audience
When they were interviewing him.
and pretty much said he was cheating on his girlfriend while he was there or something like that, and like he wanted his girlfriend. Yeah, dude, he was like, I don't even understand.
sobbing
Like,
about how sorry he was.
I can't even begin to understand what his thought process was. I think he like announced something later. He was like, I was just trying to show my girlfriend how much I loved her and stuff like that. Like on the thing, I was like, I don't know, dude. Now you're just
never
gonna
live that down.
Yeah, you're just gonna get memed for the next 30 years because of that, dude.
Sad Jordan.
Like you can talk about that behind closed doors. Yeah, pretty much, dude.
Sad Jordan.
How you know about that, Dad?
Oh,
Yeah, actually, I'm that's ball knowledge right there. Is what that is.
Man. Come on, man. I'm not that old. Come on. Did you guys see the one that was it freestyle skiing when they two skis and they do the jumps and all that, the backflips and all that? The one kid that did a backflip, or I guess it was against a rail, like a stair rail, but they use it. They go off with their. This was skis, not a snowboard, but they were using their skis, and he popped a ski off and did a backflip, and landed it on one ski and finished. That was freaking impressive. No, he lost it. He got hooked on the rail and popped the ski off. The one ski off flew off in the air as the middle as he was doing a backflip, and landed on one ski, and made it all the way down to the bottom of the hill on the one ski. Didn't win a gold, but
Didn't see that, but that sounds sick.
yeah, it's pretty impressive. Sometimes when they helicopter, they do their skis and they do that. Yeah, so, but yeah, Mom's keeping me busy watching the Olympics in the periphery.
Tune into some bobsled, dude. You guys are missing out by not watching it. It's so exciting. It's legitimately it's the sport I look forward to the most every time the Olympics comes around. It's like bobsled, luge, and skeleton. It's much watched TV, dude. It's fantastic.
One of the sports that is now back in season, kind of pivoting a little bit, college baseball. College baseball's back. It's my
Yeah,
favorite
Tech
my
with a
favorite
big
time.
sweep of William and Mary this weekend.
Hey, went 3-0.
Powerhouse W&M.
Big time. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys, who do you guys think is going to win the Natty this year for college baseball?
East Carolina. Kidding. Oh God, that's good.
I'll tell you mine. I don't know
How
if
can you
guys
bet
watched-
against LSU?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was
how
gonna
can you
say.
bet LSU, Tennessee? I don't think Tennessee's probably. I don't know how many kids stayed after their coach went to the majors. I mean, did they lose a lot of kids? Did they all stay?
I'll tell
I
you.
don't know.
LSU, and then obviously Virginia Tech. Duh.
No,
Obviously Virginia Tech.
sorry. I love
Delusional.
Virginia Tech. I
Delusional.
love Virginia Tech. I would love Virginia Tech to make it to the College World Series. I'd love it if they could make it there. I just don't know if they have enough. I just don't know.
I genuinely
ACC.
believe that LSU.
Florida State,
Actually, no, I'm not even gonna make that statement. Never mind.
what? LSU, what?
I was gonna say.
You'll get a good gauge. You'll get a
It
good
would
gauge.
It would be a competitive game between the Nationals and LSU, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, they're the best in the
Nationals
world.
would kill them.
That is not a good team.
Virginia Tech's gonna get. Don't they? They have a test, an early test to see how good a baseball team they are. I always hate these early tests where you play these big name teams because you just don't know. Because you usually peak at the end. It's Mississippi State, right? Don't they play Mississippi State
They
and
have
then
Mississippi State. They have Texas A&M and Tennessee.
Tennessee?
And they
yeah.
play at Globe Life in Texas.
Yeah, all those games, neutral site.
That is going to be a test for them. But
Well, what I'd love to see is I don't know who Renfro is going to pitch against in that game. Well, he obviously would be the first game, so I think it's Mississippi State. I would love to see Brett
interesting
have
to
a
see.
ball out in that game. That would be awesome. I mean, I love watching him. I've never seen a kid be so locked in, and he never changes his emotion. There is a guy I told Cole about, and I'm not going to be able to remember his name, and I know Cole's probably not going to remember. There's a guy that used to pitch for the Cubs, and he was just
Sean
never-
Camp.
No.
Kyle Hendricks, that's what he's going to say.
I mean, is it Hendricks? Is that a guy who never showed emotion? He could be beating you by 8 runs or losing to you by 8 runs, and he always looked the same. He never pumped his fists on strikeouts. He was just – and I just think of Brett as got a little bit more fire than that. But I love it when things aren't going well for Brett. You never know it. Things are going well. I mean, maybe sometimes you see a little bit of emotion in him, but he's just very – composed. He's definitely going to go to the next level for sure, and I can't wait to see him this year. But I'm excited about Tech. I'm excited about watching them. And William and Mary, yeah, it's William and Mary. But you know what? Every year, you don't know what you're going to get. And I'm sure they went portal heavy. If you looked at their roster, William and Mary, at the beginning of the year, I think they only had 8 players stay. So, and there was that one kid that Grayson, I think, played baseball with the Stars. I can't think of his name. He was recruited there, but he's not there anymore either. Sorry, I'm throwing this out and I don't have names. But they had 8 people, I think, stay, or 8 or 10. And so their whole roster has been turned over.
I haven't paid attention at all to college baseball since I graduated, so I generally don't know who's good. I assume it's still the big teams like LSU, Florida State, or Arkansas. Is Vandy still good?
Oh yeah,
They are. All right, with putting about 0 research and just going strictly off vibes, it's the Longhorns year. Give me Texas to win the national championship.
that's actually not a bad take.
Give me Texas.
They're very, very good. They're very good. I think they'll make the top.
It's about time. I'm going strictly off vibes. I don't know. Why be boring and pick Vandy or Florida State? Texas hasn't won it forever. They were a powerhouse back in the past. I know that. Give me
Coastal?
Texas. Why not? Right.
I don't know, dude. I don't know who's gonna win it, but I'll tell you.
Georgia Tech.
I'm a fan of the ACC. I know you think I'm gonna say UNC. No, but Florida State.
There you go.
Florida State.
And you're wearing their colors. You got their hat on right now. I think UNC, didn't they make it further than Florida State last year?
No. I think that no. Wait.
And UNC has a lot of their roster coming back, so that is a sleeper right there. And I love their coach. They're a sleeper team.
It's either I hope if anybody out of the ACC makes it, it's Florida State, and obviously I'm a Tech fan, so but trying to be realistic.
But
here.
Florida State, didn't they lose their pitcher? They lost their
Yeah, but
number
they
1
can-
draft pick.
They can hit. That team
Florida
can
State.
hit.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, you
they
see
can.
them up close. They come see Tech, what, twice a year they come up there, or just one?
I don't even think we played
They
them.
come once, and then you guys go down there once.
All right.
Well, Randolph-Macon lost today, right, Cole?
Yes.
That sucks. So, I don't know. D3 baseball used to be our life. Now I don't follow anybody. I
Yeah.
just was always shocked that Hopkins was so good. And
How are you shocked that Hopkins was good?
well, because I didn't realize they were a D3 baseball team for the longest time.
They're
I thought they
D3
were a
everything but
D1.
lacrosse.
I know. It was weird how they do that. How they're D3 in everything but lacrosse, and I think that's because they were one of the first schools that ever.
I think they're the first school to introduce lacrosse. I think that they got grandfathered in when lacrosse became a big time D1 sport.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about baseball, how you guys feel about the national season coming up?
Can't wait till next season.
What?
What do you
Already?
mean? What do you mean? We hired who we signed? Miles Moustakis or whatever, the pitcher with a 5 ERA to round out our starting pitching rotation. Yeah, that excites me. That's for sure.
Boy,
Oh, what?
You hit a nerve.
Yeah, I mean, we got rid of Mackenzie Gore. We got rid. Who else did we get rid of? We got rid of some other contributor last year too. Either way, we got rid of 2 guys. Got rid of Kyle Finnegan. There goes our bullpen finish. There goes our best starter, and we're supposed to roll out. We signed nobody. Nobody, not one person. Nobody worth anything. And we're gonna roll out here and be like, this is the year. This is the year we're gonna break out of it. No, it's not.
All the young guys are going to start. They're all
yeah.
going to start.
Phenomenal, but we had no pitching. It don't matter. It's going to be like Jacob deGrom that one year in New York where he was having a sub-2 ERA, but he lost every single game because nobody could score. It's going to be the complete opposite. We're going to put up probably 5 to 6 runs a game, but it doesn't matter because our pitching staff is going to give up 12. It's like we're running the Bengals entire team strategy over here on the Nationals. We got some offense. Screw defense. Who cares?
I think the strategy. You're onto something, Cole. With your frustration, I hear it, but I think the strategy is Wizard strategy by the GM of the Nats. I think they're planning on doing the exact same thing. Is they're going to, if you think about how the Wizards GM has been handling things, right? They're just kind of waiting and acquiring talent, young talent that people want. And then you start making those crazy moves, that seem to make no sense to anybody. But then all of a sudden, once they pull it off, you're like, Well, yeah, that might actually work. This might actually work because I think that's the idea of drumming up worth for these guys. I mean, what's the guy Wood? Well, there's a guy we need to re-sign, But if you can get 2 guys for Wood, then maybe you get rid of them.
But we can get way more than that for him.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I think that's kind of the approach they're taking because that's how it seems to me that they're doing a lot of these little. I mean, they're not drumming up any excitement, so I totally get it. I'm not excited about anything. In fact, they're going to probably have a terrible year. But you're going to find out: can Dylan Cruz play baseball, or was he a bust? You're going to find out this year, I think.
I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see Brady House. I'm excited to see more out of Damian Lyle. I'm excited to see more out of Robert Hassel. Those are the 4 guys I'm really looking, and James Wood, obviously. 5 guys I'm really looking forward to see, right? For me, though, it's just like, I get it. It's a new GM. They have to reset. You can't think of what the other GM before him did, in Rizzo, I mean. But you have a new GM. He's got to do it his way. And the best thing for the team was to rebuild again. But we were told 5 years ago, after we won the World Series, that the 5-year rebuild started then. And now we're 5 years in. And hey, guess what? Time for another 4-year rebuild. So it's like, it's very frustrating, especially after all the 2010s when we were one of the best teams in baseball. Yeah, we didn't really succeed in the playoffs, but we were at least fun to watch. We won 100 games multiple times. We went and signed big guys. And I know the learners are big into commercial real estate, and because of COVID, the commercial real estate market's down. I don't give a shit. Sell the team then if you don't want to spend money. For me, it's just beyond the point of just being frustrated with the team. I want us to do anything, and the only thing that we do is trade away any star player that comes into Washington now. And it's infuriating as a fan because I want to get attached to these guys. I want to root for them for their entire careers, but I can't get attached to these guys because I know they're going to be gone, shipped off somewhere else in 2 years' time.
We're like the farm system forever.
Yeah, it's insanely frustrating. And another thing that's really chapping my ass that you brought up, so I'm going to go on a little soapbox rant here, so I apologize.
You're going on like 6
Yeah, me rant, who would have thought, right? The Wizards tanking is not a bad thing. I'm so sick and tired of seeing people on Twitter being like, oh, tanking is ruining the NBA because the Wizards are so good at it. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys introduced a lottery system to prevent bad teams from getting good picks. You watched the Dallas Mavericks last year trade away their franchise player and get rewarded with a number 1 fucking pick. It's infuriating where the Wizards have sucked for like 5 years. Right, we've been terrible, and we keep getting screwed by having the number 6 lottery pick. God forbid we try to tank and get somebody decent. It was fine when Oklahoma City did it for years. It was fine when the Knicks did it for years. But when we do it this year, Adam Silver's got to come in. Let's change the rules, prevent tanking, do this and this because God forbid a bad team actually has a chance to get better and does it the right way. It's not a problem in the NBA or not the NBA, the NFL because the worst teams get the best pick and they can usually improve based on that best pick. But instead, you get a guy that's the team like the Mavericks, who are like the 12th pick, or like the 12th rated team, like 12th worst team, who with a 0.4% chance gets the number 1 pick, while the Wizards with a 14% chance get the 6th pick in the draft. It's just not designed for bad teams to get better. So God forbid a team tries to tank to improve their odds of getting better. I don't see why the NBA wants to punish the Wizards for that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Adam Silver also just sucks as a GM. Or not a GM, okay.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
It's just, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating.
We got it. But you shouldn't be in a professional sports and just try to purposely lose.
Yes, you should. When the league is designed, when you have a 15-person roster in one individual, Grayson, can you please stop? When you have one individual player that can potentially elevate that roster to being in instant contention. See Cooper Flagg, who's put up 40 points multiple times this season. You get one player that can instantly boost the entire team. So I understand, like, bad teams, maybe they tank for like a year or 2 in a row. They get those decent players and then they compete again. Where the Wizards have been in constant tanking purgatory for like 6 years now, ever since they traded away John Wall and got stuck with Bradley Beal's terrible contract. And we've just been stuck there being mid to less than mid for years with no real path to improve. So yeah, I love what they've done by stacking up on draft picks and doing it the right way. It's what they need to do. But because they've done it the right way all this time, it's like fans and Adam Silver don't see the 3 years of trades and all that kind of stuff, moving pieces around, the Kuzma trade, the Beal trade, to get to where we are, to give us that chance to be better. And as soon as we are at that point, it's ignore the previous 3 years when the Wizards doing everything the proper way. They're trying to improve their odds this year of getting that good pick so they don't have to do this in the future, and they want to penalize the bad team for it. I don't understand that at all.
Do anything this year. It's already
I don't understand it at all.
But you gotta ask yourself, right? You gotta ask yourself, okay, what you're basically advocating for, and I'm saying you got to play within the rules. That's the rules. You tank. I'm just saying the system's broken if that's how it's set up, that you purposely try to lose. You're paying people to millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're not playing the best players. You're playing the other guys so that they can just lose a game. It just seems so anti, sports. But if that's the rules, those are the rules, and that's how you have to play by. They need to change that. I think that's just ridiculous. But I don't understand with NBA why everybody's so fascinated with the first pick anyway. I mean, Cooper Flag, yeah, I got it, but who are you going to get this year?
That's
Boozer?
why.
Boozer? Is that the guy? Boozer's going to be our miracle guy? I don't know. I've watched that guy play. He's good, but he's not Cooper Flag.
Look, we don't need the number one pick this year. We just need the top three guys are all
we'll
fantastic.
get
But the
that.
Wizards' luck will end up with like the 7th pick, which seems to usually happen, and some team that's like around 500 that has like a 0.3% chance of getting in the top 3 spots going to slide right in there at the 1 or 2. It seems to happen every single year, and it's insanely frustrating as a fan. I think, funny enough, since we were talking about women's hockey earlier, from what I've been seeing, I think the best way of fixing the NBA's tanking problem is to introduce what the PWHL does. And what they do, it's the United States like Women Hockey League or whatever they do. It's like new. It's been around for like 2 or 3 years or something like that. Pretty recent. But they have a cool idea when it comes to playoff stuff. It's as soon as a team gets eliminated from the playoffs, every game they win after that point, like increases like draft points. So it's like if you win after you are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, you increase points, and the team with the most points at the end has the number 1 pick. And so, and the reason I think that's helpful is people always say is like, oh, what if wouldn't a team that's better necessarily get more points over time? Yes and no. They might win more games, but they'd also probably be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs at a later date than, say, like a team like the Wizards, who were pretty much eliminated week 2. So if like the Wizards eliminated like week wherever they were eliminated in the season, say like halfway through the season when you know it's pretty much game over, once they get mathematically eliminated, say they're the worst team in the league, that's from that point on, they and only them would earn those points for every single win until other teams also drop beneath that point margin. And then once you get mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, again, each game you win, you add points. Team with most points at the end ends up getting the first pick. So technically the worst team would have the most opportunities, most chances to win after getting eliminated to still get that first pick. It also promotes wanting to win basketball games at the same time, or any sort of game at the same time.
You just get rid of the lottery. Worst team picks first. And if they want to tank and lose every game, that's what they want to do. When they did the lottery and they started stealing that first pick from the last team, that's when it all started. And that's when everybody started, if you're going to do a lottery system and you lose the most games, but you end up with the 5th pick, then we might as well just tank. So they screwed it up to begin with.
Yeah, just the lottery system for me is always just feels like it keeps bad teams down. And teams that don't necessarily deserve to have the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd pick usually end up sliding in those spots. Like teams that are genuinely competitive, like have ended up getting those picks in the recent years, and it's a little frustrating because when we're stuck in bad basketball purgatory, you want one of those lotteries to kind of go your way. Yeah, we did recently with Alex Sarr. We got him at number 2, but that was also the worst NBA draft class in the past like 15 years. So it'd be nice when you have 3 potential superstars right there at the top of the draft to potentially hit one of those, build your team with that guy there, and go straight into contention. But we've just been stuck in this spot where we keep missing the lotteries or not getting the right guys, and we're just stuck being mid to bad. It's like fans want to change, and I understand you don't like tanking, and they took away or they added the lottery to try to eliminate tanking. But I think all it did was honestly just make tanking worse across the board, because all you're trying to do is increase your odds. Like, yeah, I get trying to tank for the 1st pick, but then like the worst team generally will end up with the worst pick and a chance to improve themselves the next season. So I think it keeps the good teams good and the bad teams bad overall. I'm sure there's different cases here or there where a bad team ended up with a number one pick and did well. Cleveland, for example, but I think everybody and their mother knows that was rigged for LeBron to go to Cleveland. But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, I watched the All-Star game. It was ridiculous. Terrible. I just thought it was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it.
Grayson,
so.
you got any closing remarks? We're right up on our hour, so I know Grayson's got an intramural basketball game to go to.
Hey, speaking of basketball, I do have an intramural basketball game. I think Cole proved a lot of points or made a lot of good statements there. The one thing about the NBA that I think really needs to change is the lottery. I think it's just rigged. I think it's stupid. Like Cole was saying, it keeps teams like bad. The fact that it should be like the NFL. I mean, the worst teams have the best picks. I mean, that's how it should be. I mean, I unless you're doing a trade, making a trade, something like that. Obviously, that all depends on the team, what GMs have made. But I mean, the fact that last year Cooper Flag being picked, and after the whole Dallas thing with them trading.
Yeah, that was so suspicious. So suspicious, all that.
I just think it's bad for basketball, especially NBA.
I agree. Well, on that note, we'll say adios to everybody, and keep watching, please.
Your merch.
Huh? Oh, yeah. You get your Tip of the Spear merchandise now on oshmagosh.com. T-shirts, T-shirts.com. No, seriously, just we're glad you watch and appreciate any comments or feedback you might have, good and bad. We're tough enough. We can take it. Don't say anything too bad. Cole will get upset. You don't want to get Cole upset.
No, I wouldn't get upset. I get upset with you guys harassing me about those guys. I don't care about the comments.
Remember,
you two that bother me.
Grayson's favorite Olympic sport is ice skating. Figure skating. Grayson's favorite Olympic sport.
Hey, you know what?
Remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even care.
Cole, it's your turn to make your meme. Your
claim
Instagram meme.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.